Hi everybody. I know I did like a little tiny intro yesterday. I did a little card pull yesterday with the what was that? The blue flame. That's what it was. Um, anyways, I'm gonna take a moment and I'm gonna talk about who I am. And I'm still trying to adjust to this, so I'm gonna go pretty much everything that I'll be talking about going forward will be somewhere in a spiritual sense of more of the mental health and spirituality. But I noticed that this thing shakes a lot. Um, but I'm going to start because I'm going to start with just who I am, where I came from, what I do. Actually, I'm just going to start where I came from. Because the one thing that I struggle with the most is talking about my childhood. Talking about the things that actually hold me back. So, parts that I do remember, being in and out of foster care. And when I was about 4, my mom got us out of foster care. Story behind that was that she, I guess back then you just got married. And so she found somebody that was stable enough at that time, and they got married. And I still to this day call him my dad. He's not my biological dad, but he is my dad. He's the dad that's been around. Anyways, he's been there for me when he can. He's still I don't know how you want to put it. I don't know. He doesn't come and visit. Let's just put it that way. He does if I invite him up here, but mostly he doesn't come. But that lasted for about 2 years. And during those 2 years, my dad was a very bad alcoholic. And not to say he didn't give us a roof over our head, because he did. But I remember in kindergarten, I went to school in Spokane at that time, Spokane, Washington. And it's very interesting that, which is kind of funny because I just pictured myself with short hair, and in kindergarten, I had short hair. All my pictures back then, my mouth was always, and that's just who I am. You see me with pictures and my mouth is always open. Yeah, I just have a lot to say, I guess. But there's a house that we lived in Spokane, and remember sitting always in front of the TV, most of the time sitting in front of the TV, watching scary movies. I guess it was my mom's way of kind of just keeping me, at peace with myself, just watching scary movies. For some reason my guides want me to bring up when my mom got me out of foster care. I remember my grandma driving, and I remember my mom holding me in the back seat, and I just remember screaming at the top of my lungs. Just screaming. And I remember watching where we were at and watching all these places. And because I knew I was going back there. I knew I was going back there. And I was happy in that foster care. I was really happy on that one. And I didn't want to leave. But I remember crying and screaming and wanting to go back, and my grandma being upset because I wouldn't stop screaming. My mom's trying to get me to calm down. A lot of energy in the car. But I was watching. Everywhere we went, everything was staying in my mind. Everything. And then there were like bits and pieces, I think, of my mom and my dad getting married. Mostly pictures that I saw. But I also, sorry, because I'm releasing some of this energy. But this house in Spokane, this first one, I had a friend across the street. And, she always came over all the time. And I remember us talking about her ghost. Like, always having her ghost friend that was always with her. But the one thing I remembered more was the sister went to go do something to her, like to like hit her or something, and the sister got hit, like by nothing. Like there was nothing that anybody else could see that was there, but this entity was protecting this child, and and so I don't remember exactly how it all transpired, but I just remember it became a really big thing. And then around the same time, my mom saw a ghost in our house, a lady in all white. My brother, Scott, he saw a cherry ghost, or whatever that meant. And I don't, yeah, Christopher wasn't born yet. And so I remember my mom calling in a priest. And they came in because we had 2 huge Jesus pictures in our house. Huge. And the priest came in, baptized everything, did a clearing of the whole house. I'll tell you what, I slept peaceful in that house. I mean, I was always calm. My room was always calm. But whenever I got in trouble, my dad would always put me in the closet. That's where I always had to stay when I got in trouble, was in the closet. It's a walk-in, like the coat closet. It's one of those. But I remember one day, like, just having this energy come through the door, right? I just remember this energy coming in the house. And I never found myself afraid. Like, okay, right? I mean, maybe it's because of all the abuse I went through prior to, like, coming back. All the abuse I went through and the other foster cares that I was in. Maybe it's because of all that stuff that I had already gone through, right? I mean, I had gone through being sexually abused already. I'd gone through multiple times of being sexually abused at that age, at 4 or 5. The age of 5, I was not. I don't recall being in school and actually having anybody sexually abuse me at that time. Or the age, well, age 5, I know for sure there was nobody. So we moved out of that house, moved into another house in Spokane. And in this house, I just remember this house, like, we and my brother always got spanked like bad for every little thing that ever happened. We always got in trouble. And it was so cold one night, and we had to sleep in the living room. And the rule was not to leave the lighters anywhere for whatever reason, right? But person that was sleeping on the couch left the lighter, and it was cold. I mean, it was snowing out. There was snow on the ground. It was cold outside. And me and my brother were so cold that we took a box and didn't think about putting it in the fireplace. But we took a box and we put the newspaper in it and we lit it on fire so we can get warm. Because we saw everybody else doing it, right? And we caught the house on fire. Well, everything on that side of the house burnt. But 2 Jesus pictures that we had. And they just had the burning underneath it. That was just it. And they took those down. There was just white on the sheetrock in those pictures. Boy, we were in a lot of trouble. Don't get me wrong. We were in a lot of trouble. We had to stand back to back. They turned around and remodeled the whole house, remodeled that part of the house. We weren't allowed to go to school. Yeah, let's talk about school. School back then. Okay, I'm 51, so school back then. They were still able to take the paddle and hitch your butt. The principal was, right? So that was the school I went to. And the teacher hated me. Oh my God, did she hate me? I'd come home with scratches all over my arms from talking. She just did not like me. I got in trouble for passing a note in class, and she read it out loud, and, you know, I mean, that teacher. She was older. And, I'm gonna tell you that. I remember when the principal paddled me. I got locked in the room for talking too much in this other room. This is the first time I've actually talked about all of this, like I'm gonna make it like continuous. And the reason for this is because we're gonna talk about like spirituality, mental health, toxicity, ghost, energy. We're going to talk about the shit that other people don't necessarily want to talk about with having God in their life. Talk about the truth about a lot of things. I know that there's a lot of truth tellers out there, don't get me wrong. That's what the collective's about. We're stepping into telling the truth, right? We're stepping into what our gifts are. I'm going to talk about Reiki later in regards to why religions say in the Bible that nobody should be doing Reiki, right? Yeah. Everybody should be doing it. Let me tell you. It is the most if you do it in a way and you explain to people what transpires, Reiki is a beautiful, beautiful gift. All right, it's a beautiful thing to learn. It not only heals now, it heals the past in us. It heals the past of our generational stuff. It heals lineage. I mean, goes way back. It heals our past soul's life. It heals the future. It heals the land. It heals all kinds of things, right? But Reiki really is just energy healing. It's just named after somebody who had a gift who spoke, right? Who let it out. I mean, you have to understand that when you look back at so many different things on what people are afraid of, I had to heal some shit. I mean, I had to heal things. Oh my gosh. Our kids should be learning energy healing at a very, very, seriously, it should be taught from just to learn how to take care of themselves. I mean, if you stop and you think about it, you're putting energy, you're healing yourself all the time anyways, even if you don't even believe in any of this stuff. You're already using it all the time. But, however, let's use the word however. But I'm going to talk to you about what Reiki did for me. I'm going to talk to you about energy healing and what it did for me. I'm going to talk to you about all kinds of things and what it did for me. And I'm going to talk about the fact that I still believe in God, and I still believe in Jesus, and I still believe in a lot of different things that are out there. And that's because I listened. I listened to what God had to say. I didn't just read it from the Bible. Actually, I couldn't even read the Bible, to be honest. I tried. I thought I was a failure for not being able to read the Bible. But no, it doesn't make no sense to me. And I did love the kids' Bible, though. I still have that from when I was little. And I actually bought one for my children. And but you got to take some things in context, and you got to take some things out of context, right? The one thing I really do love is having the debate about some things. I love it when certain church people come to my house and they're like, well, can we talk to you about this scripture, and will you tell us if you believe that it's the truth or not? Sure. And then I will tell you about the truth around it. That is what I do. I want to talk about the truth around it, right? And the only reason I even know that is because I get messages. But no matter what we're doing, we are all dealing with the dark energy. Bottom line, we all deal with it, but why not use something to help heal us? Take away some of this pain that we've had to experience. Anyways, so moving forward is my mom and dad, after Mount St. Helens erupted, which most of us know that time frame. I was living in Spokane at that time. I thought it was snowing outside. I was outside playing. I was yelled at to get in the house. I remember falling, and just like a lot of us heard back then, because I was crying, and if you don't get up, I'm going to give you something to cry about, right? Are you for real crying? I'm going to give you something to cry about. God knows I used it on my oldest son. That, I look back and I feel horrible about that one. I shouldn't feel horrible anymore because I'm healing that process, but oh boy, did I use that term a lot. But my mom decided to leave my dad. Who I call my dad. My biological father committed suicide. And I'd asked about him a couple times, but not during that time frame I didn't. So I will talk about my biological father at another time. But we moved. So my mom left my dad and we moved. Okay, for some reason they want me to go back to this other place that we lived. I don't know why my guys want me to go there. So there must be a story in this before I actually, because my mom and dad were together. So there must be a story in here that somebody needs to hear at some point. Is that I think it was still in Spokane that we lived. And it's the first time I remember meeting my great grandmother and my grandpa Don. So my grandma Bessie and my grandpa Don. I remember meeting them. And I remember my mom was so excited, which was funny. But that was the house that we had. I had my picture that I was sitting on a pony. My mom had a picture of me and my brother sitting on this beanbag, right? My brother's wearing a cowboy hat. Me with some flowers. Dorky pictures, but they're still cute. So in this house, I remember, so I fell through the glass, and I have I don't know if you can see it, but I have like a little bump right here. So, went right through the glass because I tripped. I remember learning about mosquitoes and them eating your blood and all that fun stuff. I remember learning about that. I remember, okay, they want me to talk about so I remember coming out sometimes, having some coffee with my dad, and people were like, you don't have coffee because it's going to stunt your growth. Well, I was almost 5'8", so I think I was fine. If I was any taller than that, I don't know what I was supposed to do. But my mom would come in my room, and she would listen to my day. I would literally, we had bunk beds, and my brother Scotty slept at the bottom, and then I was on the top, or maybe it was vice versa. No, I don't remember off the top of my head. No, I think I was on the top. Anyways, so but my mom would come in and listen to what I had to say, because I literally would replay every conversation I had throughout the whole entire day. Anybody I spoke to, it would just be an ongoing conversation. Right? Somebody would have to be having a conversation with me, because it would just be a full-on conversation I'm having. So that was how she would find out information, just listening to what I had to say. But I remember even back then, oh, yeah. So I remember in one of the other houses, that one that had, where we lived in the, where we cut the house on fire. I know, back and forth, back and forth. I'm assuming this is supposed to be a healing video for myself as well. It's kind of hard because I'm looking at the trees, and my grandma's picture's right there, and I keep doodling over here. Remember me and my brother, we were on bed. You touched each other? Yeah. The abuse. We must have both gone through something at that time. Yeah, we must have. Now that I think about it, everything my brother's gone through. Everything my brother's gone through, everything I've gone through. Anyways, when my mom decided to leave, because she was being abused, they fought all the time. The house, my dad would always threaten to close off my brother's pee-pee. And because you pee the bed. You think about just that time frame. I'm not even going to get into, because I'm already at 25 minutes, but I'm not even going to get into my next video. What I'll do is I'll talk about when we left. Because that's one of the areas that I went back and healed. I'm really wondering if this whole area right here, I'm going to have to go back and heal as well. Or how many times I got to talk about it before, you know, I feel, like it's a place that's going to be okay to talk about. Like it's a place that it happened. It's a place of strength because of it happened, right? It's a place that, mind you, we were in church all the time. I went to Sunday school. They came and picked us up from Sunday school, or from on a bus. I don't think we ever missed a Sunday. At that time, I think we were just going to a Catholic church. I think we just were in Catholic churches for a really long time until my mom and dad got separated. And that's because my mom or my dad got shunned from the church and, yeah, for getting divorced. Even though my mom's the one that left. Go figure. I left an abusive relationship at that. Go figure. Like, the church should have been there to help. Regardless, the church should have been there. But yeah, so I think I'm going to end this here. There's a lot of parts to my life. And in order for me to feel at this point where I'm standing at today, which is what? Yeah, 234. March 22nd, 234. March 22nd, 2025. Where I'm standing right this second, I feel like I have to let all of this stuff out to be successful. I have to talk about it in a whole. It might change, right? Things might change as I go. But this is going to be about healing. This is going to be about the spiritual growth. This is going to show everybody, maybe not everybody, but this is going to show people, like, there's no shame. And, like, even with the fact that me and my brother haven't touched each other when we were little, there's no shame in that, because the shame from that is the shame that somebody else put on us. Right? The shame that somebody else decided to put on us for us to even know anything. I mean, don't get me wrong, little kids, that's what they have to understand what it is. That's just what they do. But I don't think that would have been the traumatizing moment. I don't even look at, now that I understand what trauma is, I don't even think it's something that probably even needs to be talked about. However, I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to talk about it because I need to be able to cry. I need to be able to release some of this stuff. I need to be able to feel free. And I'm not going to let energy of any form stay in my body. I'm not doing it except for my soul. The energy, I shouldn't say of any form, because then I might die. I'm not going to put that out there for myself. Cancel, clear, delete. That's what that's going. But I don't want to keep the energy of that moment. I mean, it's something that happened. It's something I've talked about in the past. It's not, but if there's something inside me that's like, oh, no, I'm going to feel some shame. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going to say that to myself. I'm going to say that to all of you. No, I'm not. There's no reason for me to ever feel shame. But it just reminds me from the time I was born till 6. Because I was 6 when that teacher scratched me. I was 6 when I got my ass paddled. I was 6 when we caught the house on fire. I was 6. I was 5 when the girl across the street had ghosts to her house. We had ghosts in our house. I was 5. I couldn't tell you at that time. I mean, I remember a long time ago, before I started losing my memory on some things, I could remember every detail of everything. And I mean everything from the time I was 2 till, every detail of my life I could remember. And then something happened back in 2017 where I couldn't remember hardly anything. And we'll talk about that at another time. That is part of my healing process here. But the gifts that we have that people had to shut down, that the churches said that I never had a church up until recently tell me about that, honestly. When I went to them to get some help, I went to a Catholic church. No. Not unless I changed who I was. I'm not changing who I am. I'll figure my guide somehow, the answer will come. But just 6 years, that's a lot for a child to take in. A lot. Like I said, and that was before my mom even left. That was the easy time. That was the most supported time. Yeah, I'm supposed to be able to cry. I'm detached from the tears. I'll say I am. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to be done because I have more I want to talk about, but this is a lot. I mean, I'm still trying to adjust to looking at my hair being brown. I'm still adjusting to my hair being short, even though this is long. I'm still adjusting to gaining weight. I'm still adjusting to a lot of stuff. I'm adjusting. I'm trying to unadjust, honestly. I'm trying to adjust. I'm looking at my age. I'm adjusting. I'm growing, though. Doing something I never thought I would do, and that's a YouTube video talking about myself. Me, of all people. Me. Yeah, you're going to have to hear something like that. You're going to have to hear the singing, I'm sure. But I know I'm not going to stay in this realm where I'm at right now. I know I'm not. There is talking about this that can be painful. You know, I said if you wanted a normal therapist, go. Because you know what? People need traditional therapists. There's nothing wrong with them. Nothing. But they also don't talk about their lives with their clients. They don't talk about their lives with people. There's a lot of shame still in there. And I say you can't turn around and heal people if you can't heal yourself. So maybe that's been my problem with a lot of people that I went to for counseling, for therapy, for the psychologist, because those fuckers never healed themselves. Actually, I don't think, I know. Yeah, it's a little frustrating. So that's why I'm going to talk to you about healing. I'm going to sit in this little loneliness that I just created for myself for a moment. I'm going to sit with it. I'm going to sit with it. I'm going to cry about it. And I'm going to, well, hopefully, I don't really cry very often, but I'm learning to get that side back out of me. It's coming back out. But the healing process of all of this, right? I mean, let's just be honest with who we are. Be honest about where we came from. Let's heal this past. Let's heal the past. Let's heal things that we are holding on to. Heal it. All right? Because apparently I still have an attachment to that time. Because that is what I'm talking about. So I need to remove that attachment from those first 6 years. I mean, I don't want those attachments. You know how many attachments I've had removed and released and all this stuff because of things that have happened to me, the sexual abuse, the trauma that we go through. Do you know that trauma, what we call trauma, leaves an imprint in our body? Yeah, it does. So when you've been sexually abused at the age of 2, at the age of 1, going through all that stuff, right? That's where it starts. And then you don't deal with it. Nobody listens to you. People are going through their own stuff. The parents are going through their own stuff. They don't want to hear what you have to say. Always being taught. You don't cry. In this moment, I am being healed. In this very moment, I just felt the angel's hands on my chest, like healing a part of me right now. That is how loved we all are. That is how loved we all are, that they come in and heal us. They heal us from the moments. They heal us from that moment. That's what he's doing. Archangel Michael literally is here right now. And Jesus. My grandmother. I have a lot of love around me. A lot. I'm learning to feel that love for myself. I have to heal that inner child. And that is what I'm doing right now. I'm being vulnerable as fuck. I'm going to post this post this. I've always said, even with the other videos that I did on my interviews that I've done, the interviews that I've done about what I see, what I do, things I'm working on. Either it's gonna make me or it's gonna break me, right? Or people are just not gonna give a shit. Right? But I'm done being a victim and I'm done hiding. I'm done with every time somebody's called me crazy. You know what, mofo? You might want to turn around and go look in the mirror. Seriously. Because the only ones that are crazy are the ones that don't want to be themselves. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say thank you for my guides, and Archangel Michael, and Jesus, and my grandmother, and all the other family and friends that were here. Saying thank you for healing this moment. Sorry, for healing this moment with me. Healing this moment with me. Namaste.